Good morning, students. In the last lecture, we had started with Keel Microvision software. We will see one more program related so that Keel Microvision, you all can use Keel Microvision. Hope you all have downloaded this software. It is free, student version is free. Anyone can download, install and use it. Okay, so we will see one more program and then we will go for further instructions and a next program. In the last lecture, we had looked into logic instructions, ANDing, OR, and XOR, right? Then we had taken one 8-bit addition program, fine. We will go for 16-bit addition program and then we'll go for the next. Okay, so just take a look at the problem statement. See your students. Write a program to add two 16-bit numbers. We are going to add two numbers and those two numbers are 16-bit. The numbers are given to you. C778 hexadecimal, first number, and A526 hex is the second number. We are going to add these two numbers and I have given three varieties you all should store the result. In the first case, the result should be stored in registers. In the second case, result should be stored at memory, internal RAM memory. And in the third case, the result should be stored in external RAM memory. This is done in order to you all to understand how to access data if it is an internal RAM, external RAM. So we are going to do addition of two 16-bit numbers and we will go for the first one, store the result in registers. Right? Now, whenever you start writing your program, students, you all should always either go design with a flowchart, go with the flowchart or with the algorithm. Right? Logic becomes clear. What is to be done first, then the next, then the next. This logic becomes clear. If you start directly writing the instructions, you all might miss some of the logic. Right? So I always suggest either start with algorithm or start with flowchart. Right? I'll start with algorithm. Right? What is the main point in the statement? Addition of the numbers. So then what instruction to use? We have two, ADD, add, and then add with carry. Correct. So the main look into what is the main target to be done. It's addition in our case. And that addition is of 16-bit numbers. And the numbers are given to you. Right. So the main is I'll be using ADD as well as I'll be using ADDC instruction. Now why do I need both the instructions? Look into it is an 8-bit microcontroller. It will add only two numbers, 8-bit. I cannot add 16-bit numbers. There's no such instruction. So then how does addition proceed? You will be adding first the lower numbers. So you will add first 78 hex and 26 hex. Store the result. Then you will add C7 hex and A5 hex. But while doing the addition of the higher numbers, there might be the carry from the previous addition. Correct. So while adding the higher numbers, you should be careful adding the higher numbers with carry. Where did this carry come from? The lower digits. So the lower digits, it's a plain addition instruction, and when you add the higher digits, it should be added with carry. Hence, we decided to use ADD as well as ADDC. Is that okay? So start with the main target instruction. Now to do this instruction, what all initializations you need to do and how should you proceed? So we thought of the logic was take the first two lower digits, add them, save the answer, then take the higher digits, add them with carry and save the answer. And to save the answer, we have stated in the statement, let the answers be in registers R3, R4. Okay, so we thought of first adding the two numbers. So add lower two digits. This is what I'm supposed to do. But so as to add the lower two digits, what is the prior thing I need to do? I should take addition mean one number should be an accumulator, other number, give it in the instruction, keep it in the register, keep it in the memory. If you keep it in memory, direct addressing, indirect addressing. But since I know the numbers, I go for immediate addressing. If what numbers are to be added, I do not know. The numbers are in some memory location and add them. That is a case where I do not know which numbers are to be added. I only know this memory location has some numbers which are to be added. There I use direct and indirect. Now here, since I know the numbers, I will use immediate addressing. I know these are the fixed numbers which are to be added. Right. So I'm going to first start with adding the lower digits, but while add, first one number should be in accumulator, other number I'll give it in the instruction. So let me say 78 hex, store it in accumulator. Whereas the other number 26, I will put it in the add instruction itself. Correct? So I thought of doing lower digit addition. So I initially, what I need to do for that one lower number, I will store it in accumulator, and then the second lower number, and what is that? 26 hex. 26 hex is added with the other number. Right? Now this addition is done. Store the result. So after addition, what should I do? I'll store the result in register because it is mentioned in the problem. So store the lower result in register. I decide. You can put it in 3 or 4. I decide store the lower result in register R3. After doing this, I should go for higher digit addition. So store the higher digit. What is that higher digit? That's C7 hex. That's a higher digit, C7 hex in accumulator. And then I will add, what is the other one? I will add A5 hex with carry to accumulator. So store the higher digit C7 hex in accumulator. You could store A5 also. Yes, C7 plus A5 is as similar as A5 plus C7. Any digit you can pick up. So store the higher digit in accumulator, add the second higher digit with carry to accumulator. And then I need to store the result, right? Store the higher result. Store the higher result in register R4 because that is what we have decided. Fine, students. Now see, whenever you do this, when you do this hexadecimal addition 7826, the answer is 9E. This 9E, you will find it in R3 register. That's the lower result. And the higher C7 plus A5 plus carry, this answer will be 6C. You will find this 6C in register R4, higher result in register R4, and as well as you get a carry. By doing this two number addition, you're going to get a carry. This will be available in the flag register, PSW carry flag. Right? So whenever you start any statement given, I want you all to start with the main instruction which is to be done, the main operation which is to be done. And to do that operation, where is the data needed? Mean the initial instructions, the initial statements should be written. After doing that addition, what is the result? How is the result stored? Right? Then you write the remaining part of the algorithm. Right? So I started with ADD. To do addition, I need one data in accumulator. So initially this should have been done. I did write it next. Then after addition, what should be done with the result? If this is done, what is the next thing? Take the higher, add with carry and store the result. Now with this algorithm, and see, drawing the flowchart, my point is, even if you start drawing the flowchart, there is a bit of what to do next. This confusion is always there. Because what initialization is to be done, you all cannot find it immediately as you start writing the program. What initialization is to be done, you might even get to know somewhere in the between of the program. Oh, I need some register. So then if I need the register, I need to clear it. Right? So initializations are not clear as soon as you start writing the program. Right? So always start with the target instruction and then write the initial instructions and the final instructions up and down. Now, the statements that you have written in algorithm are the statements of the flowchart. So that's the first thing to be done in your flowchart. And hope you all know the flowchart. The start and the end is oval boxes. All the operations like storing the accumulator, adding, storing the result, these are the operations. All the operation statements are written in rectangular box. If else is written in a diamond shaped box. And input and output operations, take the data from the port, send out on the port, mean IO data transfer instructions are written in a parallelogram shape box. Right? So we will see a flowchart in one of the example. But my point is writing algorithm and going for program is a bit easy. Right? So let us go with this program. I share another window. If you all have installed Keil Microvision, you all can start doing it or else just see to it what is going on. So we start with Keil Microvision. I had posted the steps in your Google Classroom the day I took the lecture. Hope you all might have seen it, or else we are going to see the steps again. It's a blank workspace. So project, new Microvision project. I had created one folder 8051 program, and in that I am creating one folder, right? My that is 16-bit addition. So ADD 16-bit, right? Now do not give names as that of the mnemonics. Whatever the names of mnemonics should not be the name of your program, should not be the labels in your program, right? So I have given a name ADD 16-bit. That's the folder. And in that folder, I'm giving the project name ADD 16-bit. That's the name of my project also, right? Save, give relevant names. Then I'm selecting microchip. It is telling select the device. Whom am I writing the program? So I go to microchip and I select Atmel, that is AT89C51. So AT89C51. So microchip AT89C51. Okay. Do you want the startup to be added in the project? No. I will write everything from the fresh on my own. So a target folder gets created in the project workspace. This is called the project workspace. This is the console, errors, warnings, and this is a text editor in between. Okay. So a target folder is created. Click, right click on the target, options for target, output, create hex file. Okay. Right. As I told you all, we are not going to load the program microcontroller immediately, but whatever programs I write should be converted into a hex file. So always be careful with selecting the option create hex file. Okay, students. So initializations are done. File new. So I get a text window. Right? Now I give a tab and I start org, that is originate. Again, capital small does not matter, right? For you all to see it better, I am writing in capital. org 000. We start our program always with 00 hex, and from there we unconditionally jump to some label. So I say next. This is a label, correct? Whereas short jump is an instruction for microcontroller, and whereas org is an assembler directive. Microcontroller does not understand assembler directive. Assembler directive is directions given to the assembler. Do something. What is an assembler? It converts assembly language. It is a software and it converts assembly language program into machine language. Correct? And what is a hex file? Hex file is an executable file. Hope these terms are clear. Okay. So we are telling the assembler, start converting the assembly language program into a machine language program from where? From address 000 hex. That's the meaning of originate, ORG. Okay. Now let's jump next. Why are we doing this? So that we will skip the interrupt vector locations and the program will be written beyond 23 hex. Right? Initial 3B, 13, 1B, 23 are the interrupt vector locations. We do not want them to be corrupted. So hence we write unconditional short jump to some label. And at that label, next, we start writing the program. Okay. Now what is our program? See here students, we had written that algorithm. I'll just paste that algorithm here so that it will be easy for us to write the program. So this is what was our algorithm. What is the first thing to do? See here, 78 hex, it should be stored in accumulator. Mean I should copy this number in accumulator. Now students, just tell me instruction. 78 hex number is to be stored in accumulator. Tell me the instruction, students. That is very correct. So my instruction is MOV accumulator मध्ये store करायचं आहे. What number? Hash. That's the number. I know the number. Hash 78 hex. Very good. So whenever you write the state instruction, please make a habit of writing the comments. Right? See, this is a small program, so you say, hey, mighty hai. But no, always have an habit of what am I doing here? 78 hex is getting stored in accumulator. That's the comment. Okay. Now, next, what is I need to do? 26 hex is added with accumulator. So tell me the next instruction. One number is in accumulator, other number is 26, and you know that number. ADD, what is to be added? Accumulator with whom? Hash 26 hex. Okay. So this is done. 26 hex is added with the other number. Where is the other number? The other number is in accumulator. So I write the comment 26 hex is added with the other number. Now I'm going to store the result in register R3. That is my next step. The result is in accumulator. Whatever the result in accumulator is to be stored in R3. Tell me the instruction. So it is a data transfer. So MOV, it's a data transfer instruction. Accumulator internal, R3 internal. So MOV, first is the destination where in R3. From where it is to be stored? Accumulator data is to be stored in R3. First is the destination and then is the source. So this is what we have done. So data from accumulator, we have stored it in R3. Now the next, higher digit addition. Store the higher digit C7 in accumulator. So it's the same like the above one. Move A comma hash C7. Right. Now see, when you write C7, at C is an alphabet. So it will give an error. How should the data be written if it's beginning with an alphabet? 0C7. Right. So C7 hex is to be stored in accumulator. We have done it. MOV A comma hash C7 hex. 0C7 hex. Now I am going to add this C7. I'm going to add A5 with that C7 along with carry. Mean the instruction is ADDC, add with carry, accumulator, hash A5 hex. Hash A5 hex. Again, A is an alphabet, so it should begin with 0A5 hex. Okay, so what did we do? add A5 hex with carry to accumulator. This is what we have done. And now it is told store the result in R4. So MOV. So this is what we did finally. It is store the result, higher result in R4. And now we should stop our program. I told you all there is no end instruction. Then how do you stop microcontroller executing unwanted instructions? You write unconditional jump, short jump, where some label. And where is that label? That label is to the same instruction. Is that okay, students? Right? Where is that label? That label is to the same instruction. Hope you all are getting it. Right? Why do we do that? So that microcontroller will not execute some unwanted instructions written ahead in the code memory. It should stop here. Okay. Now we have the program is done. Now we should tell the assembler that stop converting assembly language into machine language. So then that's why we give END. This is an assembler directive. What are we telling assembler? Stop doing the conversion, assembly language to machine language conversion. Stop doing it. Right? Originate, start doing the conversion, assembly to machine, and end means stop doing the conversion from assembly to machine. So our program is written. We need to save it. So file, save as the ADD 16-bit, but .a for assembly. If you are writing C code, it should be .c. We are writing assembly, so .a. Correct? And see students, even till now, writing an assembly is preferred because writing the same program, if I write it in C code, and the program, if I write it in assembly code program is very, very compact. The memory required by an assembly program is much, much less than the memory required by a C program, even though both the programs are doing the same. Is that okay? So even till date, real-time programs, real-time means at a fixed interval, some event should happen. As I said, rocket launcher. The countdown, as soon as the countdown ends, the rocket should get launched. There should not be even a 1 second delay. Such critical time applications, even now the programs are written in assembly language because we have a very strong control on the hardware. That does not happen with the C language or any higher level language. Right? Assembly programming is very, very, the programmer has a control over the hardware very strictly. Right? Okay. So we saved the program .a. Now see, we need to check for any errors or warnings. So this program should appear in the project workspace here. So how do we do that? Source group, right click on the source group, add existing files. What was my existing file? .c file. So .a, add, close. So see here, our program appears in the workspace. And now I'll check for any syntax errors or any. So click on this, right click, build target. So that's your error console. It will show, it is showing some error. See here, line number, assembly line number 6. There is an illegal character. 6. Okay. Here it is saying it's an illegal character. Oh, yes, yes, yes. See what problem did I do here? Anyone can just tell me? MOV A comma hash 0C7 students. What problem? Yes, very good. I didn't write hex. Very good. I forgot to write hex. So it is telling, it is understanding that C7 as some character. It's a number. So I forgot to write hex. So build target. And there's 0 error, 0 warning. And even check this, creating hex file. with the same name ADD 16-bit, the hex file will be created indicating ADD 16-bit.hex in your folder. Okay. Now 0 error 0 warning means you are simulate the program. So go to debug, start debug session. This is telling it's a student version, so code size is limited. Okay, right? So see, your window has changed. Here you will be able to see all the registers. Above is called disassembly window. See, every instruction is getting converted into the machine language. MOV A,78 hex, it's 7478. That's the machine code of it. Right? So in disassembly window, instructions as well as the opcodes, operands, as well as the addresses. Here you can see a yellow and a blue arrow. That's your assembly language program. On the right hand side down, see here, you all can see and memory window. Fine, students. Now here, I don't need a memory because the numbers are given in the program. And where should I see my answer? I should see my answer in the registers. Okay, so I don't need memory for this example now. So let us start executing. Executing, there are three options. Go to debug. What are the three options? Step, that is line by line instruction execute. Step over means block of lines execute. And run, burst execution, mean execute the whole program in one go, show me the final answer. Let us go for step by step. F11 is the shortcut key. Okay. So I click on the assembly window and F11, first instruction, sjump. So sjump, it jumps to the label next. Okay, students. Now I'll just shorten this. Now next instruction execution, 78 hex will be in accumulator. So F11, see here, blue color, that is done. 78 hex is copied in accumulator. Next, add 78 plus 26. Correct. So F11, it will be addition done. The addition was 9E. Right. We will see the answer. And that's the correct answer. The addition is 9E. And see, one of the flag has got affected. Let us check. Initially, the flag was showing 0, 0. Now it is showing 1. What is it telling? It is telling it's an overflow. Correct. Overflow has set. But then students, does that matter to us? No. Because I am just doing addition of two numbers. I didn't say they were positive, they were negative. So this overflow is to be ignored. It is to be considered only when we do signed arithmetic. Now we are doing unsigned. So this overflow flag is of no use to us. Okay. So addition accumulator is having the answer 9E. Now what? I need to store this in R3. So F11, that 9E is getting copied in R3. So lower result is stored. Now what to do? Take the higher number C7. Add the higher number with A5. So C7 plus A5, the answer is 6C. Correct. The answer is 6C. And see, two flags affected. Which one? It's telling the parity and it's saying there is a carry. Correct. And hope you remember the slide. In red color, I had shown the carry. On adding these two numbers, my answer, there was a carry in my answer. Okay. And now I'm going to save the result in R4. So 6C is saved in R4. So where is my answer? My answer is in R3, lower result, R4, higher result, and the carry flag. And later on, if I keep on executing, it will get stuck to sjump here. My results will be intact. See R3, R4. There is no change in R3, R4. Right? And we have made microcontroller to stop to sjump instruction. Why do we do that? So that the results do not get corrupted. Now, I want to come out of this debug, stop debug session. And we are back. Okay, students. Now let us do the same program, right? What did we say? The same program, what are we going to do? It's addition only, but the result is going to be stored in memory. What we did now, the result was saved in R3, R4. Now the statement can be save the result in internal RAM 4041. Okay. So tell me students, what modification will you do? To save the result in memory, what modification will you do? Saving the result is done by here. See, this is one saving and this is the other save instruction. Anyone tell me? How will I save the answer? Answer from accumulator, save it in memory. And the address is given to you, 4041. Where do I want? At the memory address. So 40 hex. This becomes the address. So the lower result, save it at 40, and the higher result, save it at 41 hex. Done. If I write hash, it becomes data to be operated. If I do not write hash, it becomes the memory which is read or written. Is that understood, students? Saving the result in memory. Accumulator result, save it in memory 40 hex. The instruction is MOV 40 hex, A. And the other accumulator result, save it in 41. So MOV 41, A. So let us execute this and see if we get the same answer. Whatever changes you do save and build target. See, here is the shortcut, build. 0 error, 0 warning. Correct. Go to simulate. So debug. Okay, students. Now see, where is my result? In memory. So I need the memory window. So click on that memory window. See here on the right hand side corner below, memory 1. And which memory I want? Internal. So I : 0x, where I should see the result? 40. Sorry, 0x40, that is 40 hex. So I : 0x40, enter. Now initially it's a blank memory. See, it's all filled with 000. As I go on executing my program, I should find the answer at 40 and 41 automatically, because that is the way I have written the program. Okay, students. So let us go F11, jump, accumulator 78, add, the answer is 9E, and this 9E is saved in 40. So see, students, you have got here 9E. In memory window, you got the answer saved. Next, take the higher number C7 accumulator, add that C7 with A5, and the answer is 6C. Now this answer should be saved in 41 memory location. See here, students, it is 40. It shows the starting address. So the first 9 is 40. Then comes 41, 42, 43, 45, so on. Okay. So now when I execute, the second answer will be saved in 41. So can you see here 9E6C is available in memory now, not in the registers. See, all the registers are 00. Where is my answer? Answer is in memory. Which memory? Internal RAM. Okay, so that's how you can store the answer in your memory also. It's a memory address, so do not put hash. MOV destination. So the destination is memory. Source का है accumulator. So data from accumulator is saved at 40 hex. So now let us go to the other statement. I will come out of the debug. So debug, stop debug session. Okay. Now what was the... So see, students, what are we looking into? The answer one was 9E. The first answer was 9E, lower answer. The higher answer was 6C, and that was the red color carry flag. Okay, that same answer we are getting. Now what is the last thing to be done? The same program, but save the answer in external RAM. And the addresses are 4000, 4001. Okay, students. So the saving the result is at external RAM. So what modification will we do? Now this is external RAM. So result should be stored in external RAM. So external RAM, immediately you should understand it should be X, MOVX. It's the data transfer to RAM. Okay, and how is the format, students? It is MOVX. You need a pointer. External RAM memory, DPTR is the pointer, or R0, R1 is the pointer. And ROM memory, it is again a pointer, indexed addressing. So we are dealing with MOVX. So the format of the instruction is MOVX. Where is the destination? RAM memory. RAM memory, who will be the pointer? The address is 4000. So DPTR is the pointer. DPTR. So the instruction is MOVX @DPTR, A. Right? External RAM and ROM, it is always indirect addressing, students. Okay, so the result in accumulator is stored in external RAM memory pointed by DPTR. But what is there in DPTR? Does the program tell you what is there in DPTR? No. It should be mentioned. Right? And what should be in DPTR? The address where the result is to be stored. And what have we told? The address to be stored is 4000. It means DPTR should be stored with what number? 4000 hex. That address number is to be saved in DPTR. Then I can make it use as a pointer @DPTR. So data from accumulator is stored in the memory location pointed by DPTR. Correct? So at 4000, the result gets saved. And the next result is at 4001. Correct? So then DPTR should increase by 1. So this is where we are storing the result. Correct, students? So what I need to do? 4000 should become 4001. So I increment DPTR. Correct? I could have also written MOV DPTR, #4001. But see, this is a 3-byte instruction. 3-byte instruction. Whereas increment DPTR, 1-byte instruction. The same thing is done by a 1-byte instruction. Okay, now, so increment DPTR, and now DPTR becomes 4001. So wherever now DPTR is pointing, save the higher result. Done. So we have saved the data in external RAM. Okay, so remember, students, external RAM, indirect addressing, MOVX, and DPTR is a pointer. It means whatever address you are storing or reading should be stored in DPTR first. MOV DPTR, # should always be done. Correct? So store the address in DPTR and then use DPTR. Okay. So let us see whether the program is correct. So build the program. 0 error, 0 warning. Debug, start. Now students, what do I need? External memory. So then in the memory window, write X 0x4000, because that is where my answer will be. Enter. So can you all see the window getting changed? It is showing X 4000. So that's indicating external RAM. I, internal RAM, X, external RAM, and C for code memory, ROM memory. Okay. Now we will execute the program one by one. Jump. DPTR is stored with 4000. See, students, blue color highlighted. Next, accumulator 78. Addition is happening. Answer is 9E. And that 9E will be stored in the memory. See, students, F11. Can you see the answer 9E here? 4000 location, external RAM location, you got the answer saved. Okay. Next, F11, take the second higher number in accumulator, add it, pointer, DPTR pointer, make it 4001 and save the second result at 4001. So see students, can you all see 6C? Correct. And the flag is affected. See, check the flag. Carry is 1. Correct. So that's the way. If your data is in internal RAM, is your data in external RAM, right? Is it in code memory? You should be careful what instructions you are using. Okay, students, hope you all have got this. So tomorrow, I just want you all to be familiar with how to write the algorithm and how to use that key. That is my intention. Okay. Okay, bye. Thank you and see you all in tomorrow's session.